I declare war. When I created this channel, I told everyone that I was going to declare war on the Sambos. I said I was going to declare war on the Uncle Toms and war on the minstrels. And when I went to school, we were taught to make word bond. We were taught that word is bond and bond is life. And I'm going to make my word my bond. I will not let up on these Uncle Toms, these damn sellouts. I will continue to speak out against them. Now, a couple of days ago, I did a video about Dr. James David Manning. It was in response to his video about black people being good slaves, quote unquote. So in response to that video, David Carroll did his video in defense of David Manning. Now, I listened to David Carroll's video. 15 minutes in, I didn't hear anything about David Manning, even though the video was entitled In Defense of David Manning. And actually, after I was finished watching the video, the movie, his YouTube video, I noticed that he only mentioned David Manning a couple of times in the video. And he didn't provide much of a defense to David Manning. And there's a reason why. Because David Manning is indefensible. He's an idiot, he's a clown, he's a buffoon, and everybody knows this. This is no secret. Now, David Carroll mentioned the fact that David Manning was involved in some protests against gentrification in Harlem. He touted that as an example of David Manning actually doing work in the community. But if anyone researches this, man, they understand that this man is really not known for the gentrification issue. He's known for his outlandish and absurd statements. He's known for his ridiculous YouTube videos. That is his claim to fame, and everybody knows it. Now, with respect to his fight for gentrification, to end gentrification in Harlem, if you look at his history, you'll see that he actually boycotted against black businesses in Harlem. So he was not necessarily some great champion for civil rights or human rights or for black rights or black issues. And anyone who's watched his videos knows this. Anyone who watches his videos knows he's an idiot, he's a buffoon. And I'm going to show you a couple of clips from some of his greatest hits so you'll understand what kind of idiot we're talking about here.
So Obama has released these demons, particularly upon the black males. This homosexual demon, hoping to influence as many black males to subscribe to ideas that are homosexual, perverted, LGBT as possible. Outside these words, Obama has released the homo demons on the black man. Look out, black woman. A white homo may take your man. End of quote on the announcement board. I have noticed of the black men that are left, and now Obama is influencing black men to come out of the closet or be homosexual, and they're being scooped up by white homos, leaving the black woman in more dire straits and with less of a choice. People are sick of this. People are tired of the long-legged Mac Daddy, kicking them in the face every time he gets up, lying to them. Then you got a bunch of, I don't know, you're going to get these white folk all riled up here. I'm going to tell you something. They're going to come in, the white folk get riled up, they're going to, members of the NRA going to come into the black neighborhoods. I'm telling you, the people just tired of this. White people are being pushed around, kicked to the curb, having their rights denied, being called a racist, being walked on, watching their tax dollars go to fund all kind of drug sales, prostitution, illegal immigration. I mean, y'all gonna push these white folk till they can't take it no more. I'm telling you. You fool around here with Obama, you gonna let this long-legged Mac Daddy push these white folk. They gonna come up out of Tennessee and come up out of Oklahoma, come up out of Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, come up out of Oregon, and come out of Idaho and California. I'm telling y'all, you're pushing these white folk and you're pushing them. Your long-legged Mac Daddy's pushing them and pushing them and pushing them. And they're going to get, listen, you're going to push people to the point where they're not going to take it no more. And billions of dollars to Acorn. You're taking their tax money and giving it to people to buy drugs. You're killing babies and you won't stop. You're telling lies and you're demoralizing our nation. You're destroying everything that has made this nation great. White folk getting ready to rise up. They don't want to take it no more, and I'm joining them. Oh, doggone it. I am. The thing I would want to talk with Valerie about is that asking Eric Holder to conduct an investigation into her sister's death that will ultimately lead to Obama being the father and this child being a love child is like asking the fox to guard the hen house. If there is an investigation, it will be a farce. It will never seek the.
All right, so you saw that video. And, David Carroll kept talking about, in response to my video, talking about how basically all I did was call this man names. Yes, I called him a Uncle Tom. Yes, I called him a Uncle Ruckus, a bootlicking, butt-kissing sellout. And I stand by all that stuff. I stand by it all. But in my video, I also pointed out and I refuted his arguments with logic. I talked about how we were not good slaves, and I broke it down, and I'm not going to repeat everything that I said in that video. Anyone who watched the video knows that I provided logical arguments to refute that reverend's absurd assertion about us being quote-unquote good slaves. Now let me deal with some of the other issues that David Carroll brought up in his video. He talked about how people are silent about white racism. He was basically talking about me. He was saying, well, you're silent about white racism. All you do is attack black people. First of all, anyone who's familiar with my blog, New Possibilities, knows that I regularly address white racism on that blog. And I name names. I don't talk about it in some generic sense. I name the names of police departments. I name the names of judges. I name the names of racist politicians and, other white people that take racist positions. I name the names. And my slogan is, I speak truth to power without fear. I don't fear any of these people. I don't fear anyone. I speak the truth on here. I use my real name constantly. And I stand behind my product. And I stand behind my words. So if you look into the description box of this video, you'll see a link to my blog. And if you go onto my blog, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. I just did an article about police brutality, about a brother who was shot in his back by the police in Louisiana. A brother who was handcuffed and shot in the back. And they made up some fabricated story about him. So I regularly deal with racism on my blog. And I also deal with racism on my main channel, New Possibilities. I name names constantly. I'm not afraid to name names. So when he talks about people being silent about white racists, I don't know who he's talking about because he's damn sure is not talking about me. If he knows the facts, he knows that he wouldn't even be able to make those kind of arguments. Those arguments are feeble and weak. And if he did his research, he wouldn't have even made that assertion. So I'm including a link to both my blog and my main channel, New Possibilities. So you can check those out and see exactly what I'm talking about. It blows away his argument about me being silent on issues of white racism, and his statement that I speak only in general terms when I'm talking about white racism. See, that's actually what he does. He speaks in general terms when he talks about this quote unquote white liberal that's running everything. But now let's go through some more points in his video. He brought up this whole point about this rap video where this black man is talking about engaging in homosexual sex. And, the video features African American men doing the twerk dance and all that stuff. I condemn that stuff myself. I condemn that kind of behavior. And if you were familiar with my blog or familiar with my main channel, New Possibilities, you would know that whole issue about the effeminization of black men and the whole issue of hip hop is something that I have addressed on my YouTube channel and on my blog, New Possibilities. And, I encourage you all to check those out. I will include a link to a couple of examples of me addressing the issue of feminization in the black community and hip hop culture. So I've addressed that issue. And I actually thought about addressing that video dealing with this gay rap artist. I actually thought about addressing it, but I saw that some other YouTubers that I respect already addressed that issue, so there was no need for me to do another video about that. But I condemn that. And if anyone has read my blog articles um, about that issue, as I said before, and also just about same-sex marriage, they would know where I stand on the issue. So there's no ambiguity. There's no question about my position on that issue. And, I just want to bring up another thing. I don't work for you. Unlike your groupies, unlike your fans and your cheerleaders, I don't work for you. I do the kind of videos I want to do. I don't take assignments from you. I'm my own man. I do my own thing. So that's that. And then you mentioned this whole thing about me and people like me expecting the black community to be monolithic in thought. That is not what I expect. That is not what I demand. But I do take a stand. I take a stand against chumps and cowards that want to trample on their own people. This is not a question of a mere difference of opinion. This is a question of someone demeaning and degrading my community, the black community. And I will stand up against those types of clowns just like I stand up to white racists in the community. So again, this is not a question of a difference of opinion. And this whole question about someone going after another black man, that's a red herring. We have to understand history. And Kwame Nkrumah, the great Pan-Africanist leader, talked about the idea of neocolonialism, where basically white people use puppets, dummies, to spread their message or to enforce their agenda. They use puppets to maintain the system of white supremacy. So they use people that look black and act black to rule over black communities, to carry out the agenda of white supremacy. And that's exactly what people like Dr. Manning are, and people like you, David Carroll. That's what you are. You are a tool of white supremacy because you have a license to say the things that white racist people wish they could freely say on TV and radio. When they have house Negroes like you that will say all kinds of despicable things about their people, about black people, they don't need to do it themselves because they have you, their footstools, their butlers and servants to do their bidding for them. You want to talk about people being slaves. Well, you're a slave to the GOP. You're a slave to the white conservatives and their racist agenda. And you're nothing but their spokesperson, their messenger boy. So don't get it twisted. And you talked about people dropping documents and videos. You use that to basically say that people didn't have the courage to deal with the substance of the issues. Instead, they want to discredit the person by dropping documents. Well, I don't drop documents. I drop knowledge. And, the people that you are attacking for so-called dropping documents, you don't even know the whole story. If someone went after your family on YouTube, if someone posted pictures of your children on websites, if someone put out your personal address, how would you respond? So I don't attack people for doing what's necessary to protect their family from clowns like Tommy Sotomayor and others. Now, you wanted to complain about people using profanity here on YouTube, about people not being able to communicate without cursing and threatening people. But let's be clear. I mean, you're in no position to talk about that because in the very video where you're criticizing people for cursing and using foul language, you use foul language in that very video. So please stop with the hypocrisy. And if anyone wants to know what kind of person this guy, David Carroll, actually is, the kind of language this clown uses, this damn buffoon uses, all I recommend you do is check out his Twitter page. Look at all the profanity on that page. Look at all the foul language that this guy uses. And he has the nerve to talk about people using profanity because they can't communicate. He's just a hypocrite. And before I go, I'm making this short and sweet. But before I go, I want to mention that I checked out the comment section in your video. And I see that one of those little trolls was down there talking all greasy about me, talking trash. And I'm not going to say his name because he's not worthy of the attention. But he knows who he is. If you got a problem with something that I say in these videos, if you have an issue with something that I say or you refute my assertions, then respond with a video or respond in my comment section and show and prove where and how I'm wrong. If you can't do that, then you need to shut the hell up. I'm out.